This video is brought to you by Whosewear, Neckwear and Accessories. Also by Empowered Shoe Line. Stay tuned for products coming through. Subscribe, hit that notify bell so you can get those notifications. The recent story of a young man harassed and then arrested by cops for being black is nothing new in the country. This particular story felt as if it was me in his place. Not just because we share an ethnic background, but because I too have a story similar to it, but not fully. Let me explain. The gentleman, from my understanding, is walking his usual route home after working. And it appears that he has a t-shirt on and it's cold. In the video, the cops are saying they got information of a black man this, a black man that. You know how that goes. And the young gentleman stays on code, continues on his route so he can get home to essentially do it all over again the next day. And in the video, you can hear the female cop that's engaging him. He's telling her, "I'm fine." She's trying to convince him that he is that they receive calls or it's a well-being check. Here's the thing. How many times have any of you listening to my voice seen Casper people in the dead of winter in shorts, gym shoes, and t-shirts running in the cold? Where is the cops being called on them for a well-being check? That's right, it's non-existent. So that particular part of the story is a lie, and we already knew that. But getting back to the video, around the I want to say between the late 80s and the late 90s, I'm not really sure of the timeline. Even though I lived it, I can't exactly remember. I met a female through my dad's side of the family. We spent countless amounts of time conversing on the phone. Seems we shared a lot in common, especially when I spent time visiting my sister. She is good people, my sister is. So this female and I genuinely enjoyed each other's phone company. And in those conversations, of course, it came up that what area that she's lived in and the impending visit. We all know how that goes when meeting someone new. The urge to see, smell, and feel what that person is like personally was strong. Human nature. So at the time, I lived in West Englewood in Chicago. And she lived in a Marquette Park area, of which I was unfamiliar with. The time came for the visit. We planned it thoroughly, and things were set. The day came, and I proceeded to travel to her area. While in Marquette Park, a Casper male approached me. He was in a green Nova and got out of the car. He inquired why I was in the area. Growing up, many of us were taught to not engage or speak to strangers. But I was young, strong, and some would say hard-headed. So I actually answered, visiting a girl. He then said that he was the police and for me to leave the area. Ordinarily, I would have not listened to him, but me being in an unfamiliar area, I acquiesced. Now, whether or not he was really a cop was irrelevant. He was a strange dude. I'm in an unfamiliar area, and I was alone. So it made great advice to leave the area. So I did. No, I did not talk to her again. Why? I couldn't answer that question. Making a guess, the encounter with the Casper who warned me to leave the area, who may or may not have been a cop, soured my urge to see her. Why that transferred into not calling again is anyone's guess. This recent encounter with cops and an 18-year-old brother hit home for me, as stated earlier, brought my encounter with a stranger to mind, and here we are having a discussion about it all. The brother was harassed by an overzealous female cop, seeking to be more than she is. It is my understanding that people who become cops are the same people who have internal, unresolved issues. Not all, but most. The same as the civilians that they harass. Issues like low self-esteem or no self-esteem. Instances of being bullied during their lives. Feeling weak from not being able to run their own lives properly and need some system to be a part of where they can assert an authority over another being that ordinarily it would have went a different direction. I respect good cops. The coward-ass types, you ain't shit, and neither are your parents. Your daddy should have pulled out, and your mama should have washed you down the drain. And that's the reality.